and welcome to this brand new podcast named Chats at Mois Eisley. I'm your host Isaac and I will be talking with you from here now about a topic that we both find interesting. This being Star Wars. And with no further ado, let's jump into it. What is Star Wars? Well, if you are watching this, you probably already know that. But even so, let me give you a little recap about it. Star Wars is a movie franchise that started in 1977 and as the years kept coming, it has grown a lot. Nowadays, the franchise englobes 11 different movies, 4 already released series, 3 unreleased, several novels and comic books. Excluding these last two, there are 124 hours, 59 minutes and 36 seconds, or approximately 6 days. That is almost a whole week. And I don't know about you guys, but I've seen all of those minutes, and I absolutely love them. But now, enough about me. Let's get into the topic of today's and first episode, the sequel trilogy. Now, if you're new to Star Wars, you probably don't know what this is. Therefore, allow me to give you a small explanation. The movies are divided into 3 different sections: the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, and the sequel trilogy. Now, this is where it gets tricky, because even though the original trilogy was the first one to be made, in the story's chronological order, it's the prequel trilogy, then the original trilogy, and finally the sequel trilogy. But we don't have any time to go further than that. Every trilogy, as you would have thought, is made of 3 movies, leaving us with 9 movies in total. And the other 2, because as I said, there are a total of 11 movies, are side stories and spin-offs. Beginning with the real topic, what are we going to say about this specific trilogy? The points I want to share with you this day are the following. What is the sequel trilogy about? Why is it so hated by fans? And finally, my personal opinion on them. Let's start off with the first point. What is the sequel trilogy about? As its name says, it continues the story of the movies. In this case, it's a continuation to the episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. The story of these 3 movies takes place around 30 years later after the end of the original trilogy, where Luke Skywalker and the rebellion managed to take down once and for all the evil Emperor and its empire, liberating the galaxy from his oppressive regime and leaving it at peace. That is until 30 years later, when from the ashes of the empire a new evil starts to rise, the First Order. With the same ideals and purposes from his predecessor, Supreme Leader Snoke seeks to rule the galaxy in a tyrannical way. But as the First Order rises, so does a resistance to their plans. That's when a deserter of the First Order meets a scavenger girl from a poor planet. They both join forces to help the resistance, and from there, their journey to fulfill their dreams and bring peace once more to the galaxy begins. Along the way, they will discover that the girl, whose name is Rey, is Force sensitive, a quality that the Jedi from old generations had. Rey seeks more knowledge about how to be a Jedi and goes on the look for the disappeared legend Luke Skywalker, who after failing to rebuild the Jedi Order abandoned everything and retired to a deserted planet. But even so, Rey manages to find him and tries to convince him to teach her. But her now old Luke refuses. Since the last time he tried to teach the Jedi ways to someone, this person fell to the dark side and destroyed all of Luke's progress. This person being his own nephew, Ben Solo. Finally, Rey convinces him, and she is taught how to control the Force. Halfway through the trilogy, Rey is captured by the First Order, and she is taken to the Supreme Leader Snoke along with Ben. There, they confront each other, leading to the death of the Supreme Leader. Afterwards, Ben offers Rey to join him and rule the galaxy, to what she refuses. A great battle is fought between the First Order and the Resistance, where the First Order comes out victorious. In the final part of the trilogy, the Resistance tries to keep fighting. Ben, now the new leader of the First Order, has the objective of capturing Rey and bring her to a planet ruled by the dark side. That way, the ghost of the former emperor can come back to life. Ben succeeds and Rey finds herself in front of the emperor, who confesses to her he is her grandfather. He accomplishes his objective and comes back to life with the living force of both Ben and Rey. A final battle begins and Ben changes sides and joins Rey defeat the emperor, which results on her death. As Ben sees her, he passes his remaining living force to save her, redeeming himself and lastly vanishing in front of her eyes. The main story of the franchise ends where it started, the farm of the Skywalker family, where Luke and his father Anakin once lived in. There, Rey buries his master's lightsaber in the sand. She stares into the horizon when a woman passing by asks her, "Who are you?" To which she says, "I'm Rey." "Rey what?" the woman asks. Giving us the final line of the saga, Rey answers, "Rey Skywalker." Finishing with this summary of what the sequel trilogy is about, I would like to go to the next point. Why is it so hated by fans? As Star Wars has existed over 45 years, many generations have had the chance to grow with it. And as we all have different ways of thinking, some people just didn't like the way it ended. Some of the reasons it is so hated are the following. Fans found the story repetitive since it was too similar to the original trilogy. Many found the new characters uninteresting or a bit plain. Some people just didn't like the way they treated the old characters, such as Luke Skywalker, who was portrayed as an old and pathetic man, when in the original trilogy he was the bravest and mightiest Jedi. Or how the movies were directed, where they just didn't like the story in general. And it's okay if people didn't like them. They have their reasons, and we all have different likes and opinions. Speaking of which, I would like to share mine with you. So moving to the final point of this episode, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion regarding the sequel trilogy. I loved it. Ever since I was little, my father and I have shared our love for the franchise. And we were just so excited when in 2015 a new movie released. We even managed to get tickets to the premiere. And after seeing that first movie of the trilogy, I enjoyed it so much. Maybe it was the fact that I was able to go and see a Star Wars movie in theaters, or just that I really liked the movie in general. From 2015 to 2019, 5 movies came out, 3 being the sequel trilogy and 2 being spin-offs of the franchise. And my dad and I developed a tradition of going every year to their premiere. That's one of the main reasons I like them so much. The other reason is because I just like Star Wars. I don't care about how the story ended or how they developed their characters, because at the end of the day, I'm going to see Star Wars, something I've always liked, and some couple details here and there will not change anything for me. I enjoyed every aspect of the trilogy. The story, the characters, and the visual effects were just so amazing. And that's all I have to say. I give the sequel trilogy a 10 out of 10. That's my opinion. And if you disagree with it, it's okay. I respect that. And you should as well. It looks like I'm running out of time, so this is where I say goodbye. I hope you all liked this first episode, and I would like to know what do you think of the sequel trilogy. So please tell me. With nothing else to say, thank you for listening to me. See you on the next one. Goodbye. May the Force be with you.